morning class, how are you all? I hope you all are doing good. So class 3, today we are going to start a new lesson, lesson 9, Crawly and Creepy Insects. For that, I want all of you to take out your green circle book and then we shall proceed further with the lesson. As discussed in the previous chapters that we are surrounded with animals and birds, in this chapter we recall the fact that we are surrounded with insects. Indeed, there are more insects on earth than any other kind of animals. It is to be kept in mind that insects vary in shape and size. There are different types of insects. Some insects can fly, whereas some insects can only crawl. This whole chapter is dedicated to insects. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss topics like common features, where they live, some insects are useful, some insects are harmful, and at last we are going to discuss about the animals who are mistakenly assumed to be insects, such as spider, lizards, snakes, crawlers. So let's begin the discussion. But before we discuss the chapter, let me throw a light on the heading, Creepy and Crawly Insects. The very word creepy means scary. The word crawly means the one who walk crawling on the ground. Just like a baby, when he is 6 to 8 months, he crawls on the ground with the support of his hand and knee. In the same manner, there are certain insects that crawls on the ground. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the insect. Those are creepy, those are scary to see, as well as of the insects, those are crawlers. That means the insects who cannot fly, but can only crawl on the ground. We will also come across to the insects who can fly. There are certain insects who can fly, such as butterfly, grasshopper, mosquitoes, etc. So let's begin the discussion. Our first topic of discussion is common features. Although insects vary in shape and size, but they share common features. The first common feature which they share is they have 6 legs. Most of the insects, they have 6 legs. For example, butterfly and mosquito, grasshopper, etc. The next feature which they share is the body is divided into 3 parts. As you can see in the picture of the ant, you can see that the body is divided into 3 parts. The head, the main body and the back portion. In the same manner, if you see the picture of mosquito, you will find the body is divided into 3 parts. The head, the main body and the back portion. The third feature is they do not have bones. Hence, have a soft body that is covered by a tough outer skin. Let's say for example grasshopper. We can see the body of a grasshopper. It is completely green without any bones, but it has a very tough outer skin. Coming to the next point, they have 2 feelers called antennae. You all must have seen the grasshopper, butterfly, and you will find the common theme is the antenna. With the help of the antenna, they feel their surrounding, whether it is dangerous or it is friendly. The antenna helps them to receive the signals. There are certain insects that can jump. For example, grasshopper, cricket, etc. and hence they are called jumpers. There are certain insects that can fly as well as walk. The examples are mosquito, flies, butterflies, etc. All these insects, they can fly as well as they have 6 legs to walk. Coming to the next point, insects like ants and lice do not have wings, but they hide in corners to protect themselves from enemies. So these are the common features that insects share. Coming to the next discussion, where do insects live? If we look minutely, we will see that insects are found everywhere. Indeed, on earth there are more insects than any other kind of animals. Insects hide to protect themselves from enemies. For example, ants and mosquitoes hide in the corner of the house. You all must have seen mosquito laying eggs in the dirty water that is near your house. So to keep the mosquito away from our house, what we have to do, we have to clean the garbages, dirty water and the stagnant water from our area to keep our surrounding clean. Ants also build their house in the corner of the houses so that it is protected from the owner and it is not destroyed by them. You all must have seen ants. They are so disciplined. They form a single line and from the first line to the last line they help each other and does a commendable teamwork. Cockroaches come out in the dark. They hide in dark corners. You all must have seen cockroaches coming out in the dark from the kitchen or from the bathroom or from your storeroom. The cockroaches comes out only when the place is not clean enough. If the place is clean, the cockroaches won't come. Houseflies live on garbages and sewages, while lice live in the head of the human beings. Lice starts living in the head of the human being when the hair is not washed properly, when the scalp is very dirty. So as we have read this point, this topic where they live, we have come across to the fact that wherever there is dirt, wherever there is a garbage, stagnant water, sewage, all the dirty things, only there the insect breathes. So the only solution to get rid of all the insects, right from ant, mosquito, houseflies, cockroaches, is to keep your area and your surrounding clean. You all are a valuable individual in society, and your small contribution can make a big change. Some insects are useful. There are some insects that are useful to us. For example, honeybees. We all know that honeybees are the manufacturer of natural sweetener, that is honey. Honeybees, they collect nectar from flowers and store it in beehives. We use this nectar as honey. Hence, we get natural honey by the help of honeybees. The other insect that is useful to us is silkworm. Silkworms are the worms that produce silk threads, which we use to make silk fabrics. For example, silk salwar suit, silk sari such as Banarasi sari, Kanchivaram sari, etc. The next insect that is useful to us are bumblebees and butterflies. They sit in the flower and they transfer the pollen grain from one flower to another. By transferring the pollen grains, butterfly and bumblebee help the production of flower to be more. Coming to the next point, some insects are harmful. Now we are going to discuss about some insects, those are harmful. Some insects are harmful and those are called pests. For example, bugs and lice bite and makes us feel itchy. The bite of a wasp is painful. The bite of a mosquito is also painful. You all must have experienced when mosquito comes near to you and when he bites you, how painful it feels. It feels very painful and itchy. These insects are called harmful not only because they bite, because they also spread diseases such as mosquitoes spread diseases like malaria, filaria, dengue, etc. Houseflies sit on garbages and they collect germs on the feet. They transfer these germs on the food they sit on, and when we eat the food, we suffer from diseases like typhoid, cholera, etc. So we saw that there are certain insects that are useful to us. At the same time, we came across certain insects that are harmful to us and they spread diseases and makes us sick. Coming to the last point, we are going to discuss about certain animals. Those are mistakenly assumed to be insects. The first animal that we are going to discuss is spiders. Spiders are not insects, but they are often assumed as an insects. None of the feature of insects matches with spiders. It is stated that insects they have 6 legs, whereas spiders they have 8 legs. Insects' body are divided into 3 parts, whereas spider body is only divided into 2 parts. They spin a web with a thread which they make from their own body. Spider they trap insects that try to fly through their web and eat them. We can see that there are no features matching with insect, hence spider is not an insect. Coming to the next point, snakes. Snakes are not insects. Snakes are animals that do not have legs. As you can see the picture of snake, we cannot find legs on them. Neither they have bones. They have scales on their bodies. They move by pushing their body against the ground and making their body into loops. This movement in snake is called slithering. Moving to the next point, lizards. Lizards are the animals that crawl on their very small legs. They trap their food or insects with a long sticky tongue and eat them. And lastly, we are going to discuss about crawlers. You all must have seen worms like earthworms, centipede, millipede. Worms are small animals which have no legs or bones. Worms are mostly slimy, slippery and very wet to touch. We get to see worms mostly during the rainy season. The droppings of earthworm makes the soil fertile. Coming to centipedes, centipedes are just like worm. They have 50 to 150 legs. Whereas discussing about millipede, millipede or worm have 100 legs. They eat dead plant matter and thus helps to recycle it. So these are the animals who are mistakenly assumed as insects, but they do not belong to the category of insects. They are animals. Before ending the video, there is a factopedia that I want to share with you on. You all must have seen a grasshopper. How does it look like? The grasshopper is completely green in color. Right from his legs to his body to his antenna, everything is green in color. Hence, because of this color, grasshopper and stick insects cannot be spotted very easily. They have the ability to camouflage. Camouflage means to blend with the color of the surrounding, which enables them to protect themselves from the enemy very easily. Coming to the next factopedia, insects like ants and termites, they have wings when they are young, but they shed them as they grow.